Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you got to do is push the bad button. That's all you got to do. Push the dice.
Try not to think about the future too much so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
How's everybody doing out there tonight? Welcome to the Sports Chatter Show. It's your boy, Coach Lee. It's Tuesday night. We're back at it like we're mad at it. No, it's time to run one with you guys. With that being said, he ain't been on here in a while, but we're glad to have him back. Get a big round of applause for my main man, Uncle Leroy Jr.
Oh, man, come on, man. Hey, but I see I was missed, though. You should do it, Uncle Leroy. Don't say the Leroy without the Junior. And I'm back on this Tuesday with my guy, Coach Lee, on the Sports Chatter Show, where we talk about the hottest and the most popular topics in our group Sports Talk with Friends. Man, it's good to be back. Had a great weekend, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to STWF Gaming. We had the fantasy. I'm ready for fantasy football season, but we had the Madden 21 franchise Super Bowl. So shout out to Xbox, to XX Gaming, Gaming 360. He won. He's the new face of our franchise. Shout out to you, Damon. You had a good run and everybody that played in our Mad League, man. But that's enough of that. Look, I'm wound up, so hey, how we gonna get this show started today?
Man, we gonna jump right in it. You talking about wound up? We got a topic. Bear with us.
Man,
two different posts, but they go together. But it just know how hot and popping off has been off in a group today.
Hey, this is always a hot topic, man. I'm telling you. It's such a hot topic. We got keyword alerts set up for Cap Name. I'm telling you. We ain't playing no game.
So, what we're talking about, justified criticism. Justified criticism. What that look like? Woo! Oh, yeah. Woo! It look like that man Tebow.
Uh-oh.
Tebow, man.
So okay, before we get started on this topic, definitely. So, how Tim Tebow got back in the news? How did he get back in the media?
So, it was reported that his former college coach, who is now the head coach and kind of the pseudo GM for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Urban Meyer, brought him in for a trial as a tight end. Keep in mind, he was a former quarterback. But he brought him in to try him out as a tight end and extended a contract to him for a 1-year contract, inviting him into camp. When he did that, all types of bells and whistles went out into the football universe. Social media went nuts. People started burning out. No, well, it ain't got that bad yet. But that's where it's headed.
You got to say that for the OTSDS show on Mondays, man.
So, again, Tebow gets a try. He hadn't laced it up since 2012. Almost 10 years. Versus those that support Kaepernick on his side, he still has been out of football for quite, 2015-16 season, I think?
About 16,
And they say it's not fair that Tebow gets these second chances and Kaepernick hadn't had a chance, they say.
Man. Like, all right, first, you know, I'm about. You know, I wasn't gonna say much, but the thing is, if anyone knows or seen or is a fan of football, they were once a fan of Tim Tebow and his workout. This man had a crazy workout. You know, like so for starters, Tim Tebow is in better shape than Colin Kaepernick, who now is what is it? He's a spokesperson. That's all he is. But at the end of the day, even when Colin Kaepernick was at the height of his NFL career and Tim Tebow was at the height of his, they still didn't have the same workout. Everyone knew that Tim Tebow had a crazy workout. So the fact that he was out of football shape for so long doesn't mean this man wasn't in shape to be a tight end. So that's what I would just say on that. So let's talk about one of the comments. Let's bring up one of the comments.
So shout out to the first one from Imani Gray Sr. on his post, which is right now it's 52 comments and counting. And that was from 8 hours ago. So that's good for us. So you see right off the bat, you know, the racial part comes into it. Far as the reason why he's getting these privileges, immediately divisive. Everybody's entitled to their opinions.
And let's pause there. And that's one thing, you know, we're at Sports Talk with Friends, we're powered by fans. And as y'all see, we let all types of conversations come in as long as they don't be disrespectful. And that's because we have a system in place to make sure if it gets crazy, we will shut it down. We monitor our posts. That's why we don't have post approval, because the whole idea is sports talk with friends is for you to talk and become friends. So that's why we have these hot topics, these divisive topics like that. So yeah, you know, just wanted to put that out there because a lot of groups don't allow these types of talk because they're too afraid of where they're going to go and they cannot control it. But we have a pretty good system.
Most definitely. Tried and true system.
Tried, definitely.
So Mike says, didn't know Cap was trying to find work in the NFL. I didn't either. It caught me off guard.
Me neither.
Because last I heard, I know he had he had his baseball try he tried to do, and that is what it was.
But Goodell told them after they went the last time and he broke him off with his butt that they're done with him. That was done. So how is that he keeps coming back in these talks with this conversation with him playing football is just ridiculous to me. It's crazy. And if you want to take a look back, Kaepernick had a chance before Tim Tebow. He just chose to make it a photo shoot. It's crazy. And if we pull up old tape, Kaepernick's ball was sailing. He did not have zip on his ball. He did not find his receivers that quickly. I mean, you know, it's crazy. And wait, let me put this out there. He was one of the receivers that he was trying out actually got called in and played for the Cleveland Browns.
That part I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those guys that he was working with actually got called up to the NFL.
So Mike asked, didn't he blow them off? He did last year. He worked out with a couple of teams. It was all on ESPN, but now you don't hear nothing about it. So you definitely, as you can see, as we go through these two posts, there's a theme here. There's no gray area. You're either for or against one side or the other.
That is true.
Now, it was reported that Cap did, refute the stipulations as Dogmatic Watch states. He refuted the stipulations that they tried to get him to agree and sign off on.
Mm-hmm. He also got Ray Lewis tried to get him in Baltimore. They also had, wanted to sign him as a backup, but he wanted the starting salary. Even though the man he lost his job as a starter. Teams were gonna bring him in as a backup, but he wanted a starting quarterback salary. That dude's a prima donna, man. Like, get out of here, man. That guy's crazy, man. He don't want to play. And I think my guy Kyle Robinson, he said it perfectly. He said the dude went against the grain, man. Like, you know, I mean, it's not white, it's not black, it's not color, not any of that. The dude went against the grain. Like, how you gonna reward someone that's not showing respect for authority, that's blatantly showing disrespect? Like, what you gonna do?
That's right. So yeah, he hadn't played since 2016. And a lot of times when he was with the San Francisco 49ers, and I can't remember, who did he lose his job to there?
Blaine Gabbert.
Really? Ouch.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, at the end of the day,
Blaine at the third stringer in Dallas now?
I'm just saying, man. You know, you might have to, fact check that, but the dude was along the lines of Blaine Gabbert. I believe it was Blaine Gabbert. But yes, the person who he lost his job to didn't keep the starting role. So that shows you how, the next year. So that shows you it was more than just him. It wasn't just what he was doing. Like he was losing on the field. Like that's all. Like he really wasn't performing on the field to keep his job.
So it looks like in 2016, I'm not getting off topic a little bit, but I'm just going to use just to set my narrative and my rebuttal to the situation. Is in 2016, he played in 12 games. He started 11. He went 1-10. 59.2% completion percentage, 2,241 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And rushing yards, which is a big part of his game. What was his rushing yards? Actually, it was 11.4 yards per attempt for his rushing.
That's all he was doing.
So, serviceable stats, but I think, and this one goes back to the narrative of a lot of people are saying, for as his podium that he has, so to speak, to be able to voice his opinion. Everybody is entitled to voice their opinion. Just like I'm invited, I have the ability to voice my opinion at work if I choose to. You have your opportunity and opinion to voice at work. But with that, you got to be ready for the stipulation to come along with that.
Right. Because
if you're not writing the checks and you're the face of a business, in this case, a franchise, so to speak, if the person writing the checks doesn't like what's going on, then they're entitled to, to their opinion. Just like he's entitled to his opinion, they're entitled to their opinion.
Now, I like that. Now, agree with what you're saying. Now, yes, we have freedom of speech. We also have freedom of assembly, but not to incite a riot. You can't assemble on private property. That's all I'm saying. Like, people like, oh, we have freedom. It's not that free. You know what I'm saying? You cannot just go on and say and talk crazy like that. No, you can't do that. You can get sued. And at the end of the day, no, there is no freedom of speech. You got to pay for what you speak on. Just like you say, if you're saying something, there's going to be ramifications. There's going to be rebuttal. There's going to be opinion. You got to be able to make sure you can handle it. And at the end of the day, he couldn't handle it. That's why he was benched. But I don't want, I'm going to digress on that. But let's go and see what Jonathan has to say. I think he chimed in.
Jonathan has to say,
shout out to you, Smoke, baby.
Not the line, my God, not the linebacker that played QB and now he wants to play tight end. Now, for me, I'm not even looking at the political aspect of it. I'm looking at it. Tim Tebow sucked at quarterback. He sucks at quarterback, and he can probably stunt the growth of somebody else that actually. I'm like, 10 years, so he's like, what, 32, 33? Hey. It looked more like a jumping the shark publicity stunt.
But I mean, what was y'all tight end name? I mean,
Jason Witten. Huh? Jason Witten.
Yes. And how long did he play?
Played a long time.
Thank you. That's my point.
Played a long time, but he's a Hall of Fame talent.
Hey, and Tim Tebow's a great. He's a Heisman Trophy winner talent. He's a great talent himself. And Urban Meyer, he's going back to his recipe of what wins. Because at the end of the day, Tim Tebow, he made the statement. He said the Saints were wanted him to come down to New Orleans and play the similar role of Taysom Hill. And what people don't understand with once you learn that quarterback position, you learn every position on the field. that's, you have to deal with every position on the field, unlike any other position. You know what I'm saying? So you have a broader understanding of the field, and you actually play a different position. Tim Tebow I think he's gonna do very well out there.
So shout out to Kyrie. He said, why would you sign a person who went against the grain? Think about it. Would you hire a customer that told corporate on you, or hire the guy who act like he doesn't see any issues?
Exactly.
Eric comes back, and I saw this, and this is the one that jumps out to me. Hasn't he been given a few opportunities to come back, speaking about Cap, but he turned them down because he doesn't want to be a backup? You spoke to that earlier when we started this segment.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, and one thing, my biggest thing was against Kaepernick is how he's misrepresenting the black culture, because we only asked for a chance. This fool won't star quarterback pay. Man, get out of here with that, man. Like, he should have took that, did what he needed to do, perform on the field instead of off the field with his mouth like he's been doing, and became one of the highest paid starting quarterbacks. But did he do that? No. He'll rather sit back and tweet what he can do and what he think he should be doing. So that's why, him and everybody else that be talking, I put him on mute. That is crazy.
Bobby says, but does Cap really want to play in the NFL? I mean, this is an honest question. Cap said he would not be a backup. Tebow is coming in as a backup tight end. He may not ever see the field. Bam. Right. There's a fine line between standing what you believe in and being humble while doing so. And standing for what you believe in and acting better than everyone else.
Hey, and talking about that, shout out to Smoke, that's our game manager. And we have, I think we're in our 4th season of our Madden franchise, and not one team has Kaepernick on this team. Not one team, not one person. And that's in the Madden franchise. So I'm like, what all this talk about? If you ain't going to sign him on your Madden franchise team because he sucks, why you think somebody's going to sign him in real life?
Is he available on the franchise mode?
Hell yeah!
Oh, man.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break, man, because I'm telling you, we're going to go find Kaepernick a job in our man franchise. But we're going to be back with more of the Sports Chatter Show. It's your dude over Leroy. Don't say the Leroy without the Junior, my guy, Coach Lee. Let's run him, Trevor.
Oh, man.
What's up, world? Kyrie Robinson, man. New Orleans Saints veteran. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out my guy, man, STWF, the media, man. Check them guys out. Y'all want to get sports talks with players, with fans, anything like that, man, go check them guys out, man. That's the place to be if you want to talk sports. Who that nation?
Bam, we back.
Just like that.
Hey, we got fun, but we got stuck on the way out. But look, we back in with more of the Sports Chatter Show. This is dude over Leroy. Don't say the Leroy without the Junior. My guy, Coach Lee. And I think we actually found the statement for Kaepernick, man. So, all right. I'm gonna ask you this one question. Was picking up Tim Tebow a good move for Jacksonville Jaguars?
You know what? If he can play the position, yeah. Would I have done it? No, I wouldn't have done it. But I think last week we were talking about this, or it's actually the draft night. We talked about Jacksonville. We didn't know any of their tight ends on their team, if I'm not mistaken. So who would know better than anything? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Urban probably knows something, and I'm going to step outside the line a little bit here.
Okay.
So a lot of people equated it to, being privileged. I saw it as his old coach that recruited him, played him, had success with him, won championships with him, brought him in. Because if I'm not mistaken, he also reached out to Alex Smith as well. Another former player of his from his days at Utah. He reached out to guys because you got to think this is new for him. He's coming from being a college coach to an NFL coach. This is uncharted territory for him. So he's trying to get as many people that he's comfortable with around him. Because he don't know who his inner circle is. And as you know, and I know it always comes around to it, as a Cowboy fan, everybody remember the sabotage that Jason Garrett did to Wade Phillips. It was internal combustion, so to speak, and you don't know who you can trust. So he's just getting people that he's familiar with, in my opinion. Would I have done it again? No, I would have done it, but I understand the move. What would it hurt? He may not even make it past the first cut.
Good point. Good point. You know, and I agree with that. You know, and it's funny because it's like the people who catch the bus, they caught the bus. And the people that don't miss the bus, they sit back complaining about the people that caught the bus. And that's all that sounds like to me. Because if someone called their phone and be like, hey, I got a job for you, I bet you, guess what? They gone. They ain't gonna call it privilege. They're gonna be like, oh, thank you, Lord, I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day, you know, that's hate. That's hating. That's all that is. That's just hating. Because at the end of the day, if you was in that situation, would you call it privilege? Would you say that? No. You're going to take it for what it's worth. And if you like Kaepernick, you might not even take it. You're going to want to be like, hey, that ain't good enough for me. I won't pick. But what Tim Tebow saw, you know, he took his image because he's a Heisman Trophy winner, quarterback. He didn't have much success as a quarterback. So you know what? He still wants to be an NFL athlete. He came and he's coming back as a tight end. So shout out I got so much respect for him for that. And watch this. That man is a motivator. You got a new team, young kids, what they going to need? Motivation, guidance, and leadership. And that's one thing that Tim Tebow had. He also has Urban Meyer. So with that one move, I have high expectations for Jacksonville Jaguars. I really do. Because now they got the leadership. They got talent. It's just raw talent. So I think even if Tim Tebow makes it on the field, he doesn't make it on the field, you're going to see his presence will be felt because he's going to be in a locker room. And that's the big difference between Kaepernick and Tim Tebow. So I think this was a great move. Shout out to Urban Meyer, who's proven that he can develop talent. That's the biggest thing. You know, just like when Nick Saban made the transition from college to the NFL, and it's crazy because both of them went to Florida teams. But the point I'm saying is it's a huge jump from college to the NFL, and that's why Nick Saban's back in college because he couldn't handle that pressure. Shout out to Nick Saban and Tim Tebow. Shout out to him.
So I'm gonna piggyback off that if I may. So I'm on the other fence with that for his success. I think he's gonna crash and burn, in my opinion. The reason being is because of that jump. When you in college, you are the ultimate. You the CEO of that football program. What you say goes. You control everything from the numbers on the numbers and names on the back of the jersey down ultimately to what your budget is for recruiting. Things about, and everything that's in between there. It's going to go down there. He's going to quickly find out you're the football coach. Stick to X's and O's. Are you willing to put the work in? Because he's shown before in the past when it gets real, I'm sick. Oh, my hamstring. He pull up on you. And one of the most successful college coaches of all time, Steve Spurrier, they say he couldn't cut it. He spent too much time hanging out golfing, which is stuff you can do when you're the head coach of Florida. Ironically, they both were the head coach of Florida at one point in time. But if you take it over again back to the original thing, is it a privileged situation? Yes, it is. But it's privileged because he has that relationship.
Hold on, wait. Repeat that. It's privilege because he developed the relationship.
The relationship.
That's why
I can see if it was a situation where they had no ties with one another, and another coach brought Tebow in. Like, there's no ties, so why is he doing it? And in that situation, I would definitely look at that side eye. I don't agree with that, but because they have a relationship, I'm pretty sure they've stayed in contact. Hell, if I'm not mistaken, when Urban was doing TV, Tebow was doing TV at the same time. So they've been communicating with each other, I'm pretty sure, the entire time. So just like if you are a supervisor, manager, CEO, or wherever you at, you're going to bring in people that you're familiar with that you think going to have your back. Right. And that's what this situation is.
Right. You mentioned, mentioned something that was real good. But I'm just going to end it with this. Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans. That's their division. So how you think they won't do well this year?
Hey, my dark horse team is them Colts, man.
I was just saying. So the Colts, they got who's their quarterback?
Carson.
Who is different from last year. What's going on in Houston?
Yeah,
the
true.
turkey leg hunt. That's it. Ain't nothing else going on in Houston besides the turkey leg hunt. The Astros, the Rockets, the Texans, they all gone, man. But the only real threat is the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. That's a little more than a threat. They might be the favorites.
That's it. That's
their division.
That's it. So after the Tennessee Titans, then they're beatable. It's the Jacksonville Jags, man. I'm telling you, you should better watch it. You'll be surprised. But hey, definitely gonna switch topics because definitely gotta give a shout out to our movie sponsor of the night. Our show is sponsored by the Maritarian. So definitely gonna take a quick snippet right here so y'all can see what we will be playing.
If you stray outside the designated areas, you will be removed from the island. It's recommended you wear a hijab when visiting your client. We've had incidents of inmates spitting at female lawyers.
You want to represent the head recruiter for 9/11.
Mohamedou Ould Slahi, the Mauritanian held in Guantanamo. He recruited the guys who flew your friend's plane into the South Tower.
He put those men on my husband's plane?
I'm gonna make him pay.
In the event the detainee lunges for you, push back away from the table. We'll get in there as quick as we can.
I'm Nancy Hollander. This is my associate. We wish to represent you.
We are seeking the death penalty, but if we miss something, this guy goes home. Let's get to it.
Call this number. Speak to my mother. Tell her, I don't know, something nice.
The U.S. government is holding upwards of 700 prisoners in Guantanamo. Since when did we start locking people up without a trial in this country?
That's a lot of case files.
The prosecution won't show us the evidence they have against you. It's all redacted.
You got a problem, take it up with the government. All my time here, I've been told you are guilty. Not for something that I have done, but because of suspicions and associations. I am innocent.
He has been interrogated. He has been held against his will for 6 years without a single charge being laid against him.
Doesn't it bother you at all working for someone like this?
I'm not just defending him. I'm defending the rule of law.
You haven't seen what I've seen.
Where I'm from, in Mauritania, we know not to trust the police. But never did I believe that the United States of America would use fear and terror to control me.
A couple sleepless nights, that's all.
I've never been part of a conspiracy, but I'm starting to think this is what it must feel like to be on the outside of it.
You're overthinking this. Either wear the jersey or get off the field.
You need to tell me what happened to you. I can't defend you. Do you understand that?
You asked me to set fire to this place, but I'm still sitting.
Maybe he's guilty.
Maybe he is. Like, we're doing our job.
I'm not welcome home. That's not a part of my job.
If I'm wrong, when it comes to my reckoning, I'm the one that'll have to answer for it.
What makes you think you're any better than the rest of us? I don't think I'm better than anybody else. That is the point.
For 8 years, I have been dreaming of being in a courtroom. Now that I'm here, I'm scared to death.
I think I figured out why they built Guantanamo down there. My client, he's not a suspect. He's a witness.
Mr. Slahi, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me?
The Mauritanian.
The Mauritanian, yours to own now on digital, Blu-ray, and DVD. Academy Award-winning Jodie Foster, Tara Rahim, Shailene Woodley, and Academy Award-winning nominee Benedict Cumberbatch star in The Mauritanian, a riveting and emotionally compelling true story of courage and survival against all odds. Based on the New York Times bestseller, bring home the critically acclaimed film field and all exclusive bonuses, content including an alternate opening, never seen before, deleted scenes, and much more. Own The Mauritanian on digital, Blu-ray, and DVD. Man, that was a lot. But definitely got to give a shout out to The Mauritanian because that's who's sponsoring our show. And we're going to be having a giveaway, and we're going to be giving away 5 copies of that movie. Man, it is great. It's like I was getting chills just watching the trailer. But watching the trailer brought back some memories for me. Like, it brought back 9/11. Like, where were you during 9/11?
I can tell you exactly where I was at.
Oh, wait, okay.
My first day working at Car Toys as a sales manager, and I was in training. We just came back from a break. And I remember we just came back from a break. We came in there, we sitting down, to get started and whatnot. And somebody runs into the training area. I think it was like a hotel ballroom or something. Somebody runs in there and says, "We under attack." And I'm like, we under attack. They just ran a plane into the World Trade Center. And I remember going out there, they stopped class, obviously. We went out there in the lobby. We're looking at TV on the news. And we're seeing the after effects of it. And while we're watching the news broadcast live, we see the second one run into it in real time. So that's where I was at the day that it happened.
Wow. That is crazy that you remember that because I thought I was the only one that remember like the exact location where I was. I was interning at the Walt Disney World Company. I was out there on their properties in Orlando, Florida. And I was in a break room watching. It was like, man, y'all watched it. It was on TV. And it was like watching something that was on TV, like on a video game. And I watched these airplanes run into the World Trade Center. And that was crazy because at that time, the world was under alert. Like it was, alert for attack. And Walt Disney, the actual company, they received a letter saying that, because they had pictures of different possible targets. They had Cinderella's Palace as a possible target. So, they were telling us that, hey, we got to be on alert, like something might happen. So for us to see it wasn't, the Walt Disney World, it was like a sigh of relief, but to actually see that happening, like I couldn't believe it. It was just so heart-wrenching. Like, but I would have never thought that it would lead to, I never thought I would see this narrative of it. To whereas we, America, had the wrong person in Guantanamo Bay, the guy that we thought was the suspected recruiter, the top recruiter for the people that flew the plane in the 9/11. Man, that is a great movie. That should be a good movie. That's a good plot.
No doubts. Can't wait. You should wait.
You get ready to call the show. How do you think 9/11 changed the sporting world?
So I'm gonna throw this out there, folks. Don't be judgmental. For me, because I have a tendency to be, I ain't gonna say I'm a cheapskate, but I can be frugal at times. I was a guy when I used to go to the thing back in my younger days. When I go to a sporting event, I'm gonna sneak me a whiskey flask in there. Can't do that no more. They scanning you with the ones and patting you down there. Cause now you got to go through like you going on an airplane flight. You got to go through security checkpoints now.
Wow, you're absolutely right. Like that's crazy that you put that. So I think that's for me that's the way I think the 9/11 has impacted the sports world. It's like now like you say, you got that wine. You're going to get checked before you get into this sporting event. Because honestly, what people may not know that they had targets to hit the Super Bowl that year, because that is a big thing for America, sport.
Unofficial holiday. Exactly.
So, man, wow. So, somebody said that was a success because the world changed after 9/11, and definitely y'all will want to watch this movie to see how the Mauritanian actually impacted and played a role into this whole paradigm shift into what we see right now in the sports world. Pretty cool. So, man, any shout outs you got? You know, it's time to go, man. It's so hard to say goodbye.
Shout out to my boy, Uncle Leroy, man. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to those coming in. Shout out to the people in our group. If you ain't in our group, it's in our group. It's fire. It's on point. Everybody got an opinion, as long as you're respectful. At the end of the day, everybody's got an opinion. You ain't got to agree, but you can definitely voice your opinion.
That part. And that's what we welcome here at Sports Talk with Friends. So, you know, just like our podcast, Sports Talk with Friends podcast, if we have a topic, you won't speak on it, just be ready because we going to post it and speak back. But look, definitely got to give a shout out to the STWF Gaming, TariClothing.com, hey, Lil J's, everybody else that supports the brand. We got a lot of big stuff coming up. So don't get left on this bus. Make sure y'all get on it because, like I said earlier, the people that's not on the bus gonna be talking about the ones in the bus. But look, till next time, till tomorrow, this should do it. I'm gonna Leroy. Don't say the Leroy without the Junior. Sticking with my guy, Coach Lee, and we going for the Sports Chatter Show. Run them credits, boss.
Out of here.